Hello, I'm old Mr. Kent. I'm 82 years old, and I'm on my morning e-trike ride, which is something I usually do, or I do almost every day. And then every once in a while, I'll make a video if I can think of some content that would be interesting. Well, in the last video, a lady, sweetheart lady, interfered with my video recording. I kept her in there though because she was a really nice person, and she was a neighbor, and so it made a nice video, better than if it was just me. Anyway, in the process, I got sidetracked, and I didn't put the picture of the 1,000 mile odometer on that video. So here it is on this video. I actually rode 1,000 miles on this trike. I rode 1,000 miles on the previous one, and then also I've ridden over 2,000 miles, way over, on my e-bikes before I switched over. So we'll just say 4,000 miles. Okay, how far could I have gone across the United States if I was riding my e-bikes and e-trikes? Anyway, that's just a question. It's not important. All right, so on this video, first of all, I promised I would tell you a little bit about my little brother. This might be a longer than normal video, but some people tell me they like it that way. My little brother, he was like, I don't know, 6, 7 years younger than me. And so when we were little kids growing up, well, I'd, wrestle with him, and I'd always win. And I'd sit on his chest and act like I was going to spit in his face and all that kind of stuff like big brothers do. And he could never win. He was always losing. And so, anyway, so we grew up, and I went to college and became a school teacher. And he decided he would go into the Air Force, and he signed up for that and told him he would like to get into electronics, and they said okay. So anyway, so they sent him to what he called boot camp. I guess it was really boot camp, and so he was there for several weeks, and then he came home to visit, and so we all met at my mom's place, and for lunch or just to celebrate. I got a picture of him in his outfit there. Anyway, so we all met at my mom's place, and at mom and dad's place. And so after we got through eating and everything, he said, "Hey, you want to go outside and wrestle?" Well, we always used to wrestle. Even when he got older, we always used to wrestle. But now I'm a school teacher. I'm not getting much exercise. And he just got out of boot camp. And, stupid me, I didn't think about that. So we get outside, and it didn't take him 30 seconds to break 2 of my ribs in a bear hug. And then I couldn't move. I was in so much pain. And he took me over to my mom's flower bed, rubbed my face in the dirt, back and forth, got in my nose and my mouth. And he said, "That's what you get for always picking on me when I was a kid." Anyway, so that's a memory that that's one I'll never forget. He's in heaven now. He succumbed to the covert just, a year or two ago, about 2 years ago. And I talked to him, the week before he died, I guess you'd say, roughly. And he had a bad cold he couldn't get rid of. And so that's how that went. So anyway, I wanted to tell you about my little brother. Now then, let's see, what else was there? Oh, there was something else I was going to talk about, but we'll get to that if I can remember. One thing that I heard something just recently, learned something I didn't know before. If you're old like me, you remember Kodak sold all the film years ago Kodak, the man, his name, I don't remember his first name, but he's the one who invented a lot of the stuff that has to do with filmmaking. And so he was quite wealthy, I'm sure. Anyway, so if you wanted if you wanted some film stuff, it was always Kodak. That's about all there was. And when I was a child, my folks bought me a Kodak Brownie camera, and I had that. I kept it and took pictures with it once in a while until I was in college. And they even bought me a flash unit for it. And but if you wanted to take a picture, where it wasn't all sunny and everything, then you put a bulb in the flash unit. The bulbs cost money, and you aimed the camera at what you wanted to get a picture of, pushed the button, and the bulb flashed at the same time that the camera lens opened, and so you got a picture of people in the house at night, stuff like that. But that bulb was no good anymore. You just threw it away. And of course, then you had to buy film for your camera. And every time you took a picture, then you rolled it through a little ways on the camera, and moved it up a little bit. And then you took another picture. If you didn't roll it, then you got a double exposure, and you got two things in the same picture. So you always had to remember to roll it like that. And then when you got through with that film, then you took it to the local, usually it was a drugstore, and they had a photo department. They would take your film and your address and all that stuff, and give you a couple of days, and then you could go back and they'd have your pictures developed. You'd have negatives and positives. The negatives were from the film that was in the camera, and the positive was from where they shone a light through the negative into some photosensitive paper. And so that's how we did it back then. Young people, next time, well, anytime, everybody now, I don't think you see the name Kodak much on hardly anything, because they're pretty much out of business. But they're not out of business, but I mean, but here's the story that I heard. In 1974, one of their employees, and here comes a truck, so wait till he gets by. One of their employees developed a system where you could take pictures graphically. In other words, like we have today when we take a picture, and it becomes oh, my mind is getting too old for this. It becomes a digital image, okay? One of their employees developed that and presented it to them. And you know what they said? They said, we can't do that. We're gonna don't even work on that, because we would lose our film sales if that caught on. They wouldn't buy our film anymore. That was a big mistake on the part of Kodak, because somebody else figured it out. And here comes the car. I'm going to wait for him. Anyway, so so that's the story of why Kodak didn't get in on the digital stuff. All right, so I told you about my brother. I told you about Kodak. There was something else. Makes me so angry. Anyway, I'm always forgetting the names of things and stuff like that. And have a good friend that lives here. We're going by. I stopped at his house the other day and visited with him. Okay, well, can't remember what it was. It was one other thing I was going to talk about. I should make a note and put it here somewhere if I had a brain. But I do have a poem. I haven't put a poem in, so I just save them for last. And you don't have to, if you don't like poetry, well, that's fine with me. It's okay. But I've written a lot of songs and poetry and stuff. And so I thought, well, I'll share it with the folks that would appreciate it. This poem is one I wrote to my daughter, who happens to be visiting from South Dakota right now, and got a jet going over, and so she's visiting, and she'll be going home tomorrow, I guess. Anyway, I wrote a poem for her, and then I printed it off, gave it to her, and then also, as time went by, I wrote the poem a long time ago, and 7 years ago, I put it into a video format and put it on YouTube. And so I'll put a link to where you can listen to it again if you're interested. And I included video with it and everything. But I'll just stop right here, and I'll recite the video at home, and then we'll come back out here and I'll finish this video.
I looked again, and you were gone. Written for my daughter, Chloe. I first saw you in a baby crib with little diapers on, and such little tiny fingers. I looked again, and you were gone. I watched you take your first steps with no hand to lean upon, and try to drink milk from a cup. I looked again, and you were gone. I glanced out the kitchen window as you played upon the lawn with your little toy possessions. I looked again, and you were gone. I watched you learn to ride a bike as you hollered, "Dad, hang on!" and daubed some tears and patched some tires and looked again, and you were gone. I saw you leave for school one day with brand new slickers on and watched you learn to read and write and looked again, and you were gone. I watched you grow and change and laugh and cry as life began to dawn and learn to face its trials. I looked again, and you were gone. I guess I should have recognized as I hurried through each day and worked and played and paid the bills, those times would slip away. I had but just one chance to see what lay before my eyes. 'Twas there to love and hold and teach before it passed on by. There's a precious thing that's known as time. It burns slow but constantly. Its ashes lie in a scattered heap that we call the memory. And as I probe in desperate pain to find the one I seek, the ashes only wisp about, and the memory seems more bleak. The ones who mean the most to me, that I see each fleeting day, are the ones I need to linger with and spend more time along the way. For being a little wiser, and as this day begins to dawn, I know that by this evening I'll look again and find it gone.
All right. Well, if you wanted to hear that again and see the video that I put with it, I'll put a link in the description down below, and you can watch it and listen to it. So for now, that's only one dog. That's not too bad. Anyway, so for now, I want to thank you for watching my video, and God bless.